Hello, I'm Vanessa Grant. Let's talk about how understanding the structure of the English language will help your learners read and comprehend our rich language. Be sure to print the handout before we begin. Read this word. What did you do to read it? When you read, you are doing several things at once. You recognize letters, you understand which sounds these letters represent, you blend those sounds together to form a single word, and you attach a meaning to the word, all without conscious effort. And of course, you're doing all of these things in milliseconds. Reading is a useless act unless there is understanding. Reading comprehension involves two components, decoding and language comprehension. Decoding is recognizing and pronouncing words like cat fluently with no effort. Language comprehension makes sense of what you have read. How does skilled reading work? When you read the word cat instantly, all of your attention was focused on meaning and not on figuring out how to read the word. That's the importance of skilled decoding. As you quickly read the word cat, you didn't think about the letters and sounds in the word. You probably just pictured some type of feline creature. That's the importance of skilled language comprehension. When you can read all the words on a printed page effortlessly and quickly attach meaning to them, you can gain new information from or be entertained by what is on the page. That's reading comprehension, the reason for reading. Let's talk more about how a reader decodes or reads a word. When you decode, you are translating the symbols on a page into words. For many of you, the word cat was recognized instantly. You did not have to sound out the word. So, how did you achieve this instant recognition of a word? Someone taught you, or you figured out how the alphabetic principle works. English operates on the alphabetic principle. According to the alphabetic principle, written symbols called graphemes match sounds in spoken words called phonemes. Let's look at the word cat. This symbol or grapheme is the letter C and represents the sound or phoneme k. This grapheme is the letter A and represents the phoneme a. This grapheme is the letter T and represents the phoneme t. So how do you read words you have never seen before? Did you have trouble reading these words? Why? 1. These words are not held in your memory. And 2. You didn't know the sound symbol correspondences for the hashtag and the asterisk. Let's review the sounds. Hashtag represents k, so the first word is cat. Asterisk also represents k, so the second word is skip. You were probably much faster reading this group of words. Why? Repeated exposures to the patterns reinforced and secured the patterns in memory. This improved your accuracy and your speed in reading because patterns in words that are held in memory are recognized instantly. When you read unfamiliar words, you may focus on them at the decoding level because you are not secure yet with the knowledge of how the sounds and symbols match up. If you continued to practice, you would not have to stop and think before you read a word that has a hashtag or an asterisk representing k. You would be able to instantly recognize and read such a word as fast as you read cat, and your attention would be more focused on the comprehension level. For many alphabetic languages, knowing how to decode or how the sounds and symbols of the language correspond is not too complicated to learn. English, however, has just 26 letters to represent approximately 44 sounds. 15 of those letters represent only one sound. That leaves 11 letters that represent more than one sound. The vowels A, E, I, O, and U all represent at least two sounds. A long sound A, E, I, O, U, and a short sound A, E, I, A. There are 6 consonants that represent more than one sound. C represents the sounds K and S. G represents G. or j. N, and S represents s and z. X represents either ks or z. And Y can represent y, I, or e. Some sounds in English are represented by groups of consonants or vowels that form entirely new sounds. For example, the digraph CH has 3 different pronunciations: ch, sh, and k, reflecting the influences of other languages on the English language. Once you understand how sounds and symbols relate, you can begin applying this knowledge to reading words. Reading a word involves blending the individual sounds together. So the sounds k, a, and t blended together form the word cat. But vowels make more than one sound. How does a reader know that the A in cat makes the short sound a? To determine how to correctly read and pronounce the vowels in a word, it is helpful to know the 6 syllable types in the English language. A syllable is a word or part of a word that contains one vowel sound or opening of the mouth. When you count syllables, like cat and strategy, you are actually counting the number of vowel sounds in a word, or the number of times your mouth opened. There are over 1 million words in English, and 80 to 85% of the words or their component syllables can be categorized into 6 different syllable types. These syllable types give a reader clues about what the pronunciation of the vowel is in each syllable. Each of these words contains a different syllable type. This is an open syllable. So are these. They all end in one vowel. Vowels in open syllables have their long sound, so the words are she, go, high, and sky. But wait, isn't Y a consonant? As I mentioned earlier, Y represents multiple sounds. At the beginning of a syllable, Y acts as a consonant and represents y. Elsewhere in a syllable, Y acts as a vowel and represents either I or E. These words are closed syllables. They all end in a consonant and have one vowel. The vowels in closed syllables represent their short sounds. The words are and, hip, got, and mud. Vowel consonant E syllables have one vowel, one consonant, and a final E. The vowel is long and the final E is silent. These words are pronounced nose, cake, theme, and cube. These words are vowel R syllables. Also known as R-controlled syllables, vowel R syllables all have an R after the vowel. Vowel R syllables have their own category separate from closed syllables because R does something unexpected to the vowel sound. ER, IR, and UR all represent AR represents R, and OR, OR, except in unaccented syllables when they both represent These words are vowel pair syllables. You might have heard the saying, when 2 vowels go walking, the first one does the talking. Only 45% of vowel pairs represent the sound of their first vowel, making it best to learn them individually. Now you might be looking at this list and thinking, you already told me about Y sometimes being a vowel, but what's with W? W acts as a vowel when it immediately follows another vowel. After all, it is a W. These words have a final stable syllable. They are called final because they always come at the end of the word, and stable because the pronunciation and spelling of these syllables never changes. Here are some other final stable syllables. These syllables are not pronounced the way that they are spelled, but their pronunciations are stable. When you recognize a final stable syllable, you can mark off that part of a word and look at the remaining syllable or syllables to figure out pronunciation. After marking off GLE, we're left with a closed syllable, so we know the I will represent its short sound, making this word Wiggle. Knowing about final stable syllables is a start on knowing how you might break apart a long word. It is not very efficient when reading to sound out a long word, one sound at a time, from the beginning to the end. A good reader looks for parts of a word she or he recognizes like final stable syllables, prefixes, and suffixes. In this word, I recognize the final stable syllable tion, the prefix in, and the suffix s. After we mark those, there is one syllable left. It's only one syllable because there's only one vowel. The prefix and the base syllable are both closed syllables, so the I's are short. The final stable syllable tion is always pronounced shun, and suffix s after a voiced sound is z, making the word inscriptions. There are some additional strategies that help you figure out how to break apart a long word and identify the vowel sounds in each syllable. These strategies are called syllable division. There are 4 major syllable division patterns in English. Most words follow a VCCV or VCV pattern. VCCV stands for vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel. We know a syllable is a word or a part of a word with one vowel sound. So to divide a longer word, look for the vowels and figure out how to separate the consonants between them. Find the vowels in these words. There are 2 consonants between the vowels in each word, making them all VCCV words. Let's divide between the 2 consonants in each word and look at which types of syllables that makes. We have some closed syllables, a vowel consonant E syllable, and a vowel R. Vowels in closed syllables represent their short sounds. In vowel consonant E syllables, vowels represent their long sounds with a silent E. The vowel in a vowel R syllable represents its own sound. Now, we can read these words: napkin, combine, letter. Vowel consonant vowel syllables have one consonant between 2 vowels and are divided before the consonant. Dividing before the consonant gives us several open syllables, a vowel consonant E and a closed syllable. Vowels in open syllables have their long sound. In vowel consonant E syllables, vowels represent their long sounds with a silent E, and the closed syllable will have a short vowel sound. So the words are rotate, event, and lady. The other 2 syllable division patterns are V, CCCV, and VV. Vowel, consonant, 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 vowel words divide between the first and second consonant. You see this pattern in words like lobster, surprise, and pantry. Vowel words divide between the 2 vowels. This syllable division pattern is applied when pairing the vowels in a word does not produce a word that makes sense. The vowel pair OI represents oi. That would make this word stoic. That doesn't sound like a familiar word. When the word is divided between the vowels, we have one open syllable with a long vowel and one closed syllable with a short vowel, giving us stow and ick. Stoic sounds right. The words that fall into these 6 syllable types make up the 85% of the language that is regular, meaning they follow the reliable patterns of the language. If you are familiar with prefixes, suffixes, roots, and word origins, then the percentage of words that are regular goes up to 90%. Now you may be thinking that these patterns of the English language are not very relevant because you've thought of many words that don't fit. Those words are irregular words and make up only 10% of the language. An irregular word does not follow a reliable pattern of a language and must be memorized. The pronunciation of many of these words shifted over time, and their spelling matches the original pronunciation. Irregular words must be memorized because they do not follow reliable patterns and cannot be sounded out. Many irregular words are high-frequency words. They recur frequently in reading. When we hold these words in memory, they are instantly recognized and comprehended. Now that you know how to decode the English language, you'll never feel like this again. Thanks for watching. You can find out more about the structure of language at nyhouse.org.